Today's episode, we're going to be talking about leadership. We have not talked about leadership on the real estate leadership, so stay tuned. Let's get it.
Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Travis Hitt and this is Turner Cavender.
What's up, guys?
We're going to talk about leadership today.
Today is going to be about leadership. So as you watch the intro of this video, we were talking about how we really were just focused on real estate because we were focused on we started the show. We just really wanted to push a lot of information out for you guys to make an educated decision when it comes to real estate.
And I love real estate.
That's right. You do. You love it. And so do I. I have grown fond of it. I remember in the beginning of our conversations, I was like, real estate's boring. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. What are you talking about?
You were like...
I got offended.
Yeah, you did. You got offended. But, okay, here we are today doing real estate leadership. But we want to do the second part of that sentence, real estate leadership, is to actually talk about leadership. Being a good man, being a good leader. And I have here my little trusty Google device, my iPhone, my bullet points, and I will put them in the description of the video. So we're strictly going to be talking about leadership and the bullet points of how to be a leader, okay? Yeah. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say straight out the bat and give Travis a big compliment. He is an amazing father, great husband, and a great leader when it comes to our real estate team. His real estate team, the Hitt group that I'm a part of, and we're growing something together. And it means a lot to me that he is my leader, and I like to call him my real estate dad. It's funny because he likes to take stupid photos with his hands on my shoulder like I'm his son or something.
Can we include those on a slideshow somehow?
Yeah, we'll put it in. We'll put it in right now. There's gonna be a photo of us with that. Okay, so the first one about being a leader is being able to set goals. So goal setting, right? All right, I'll read the sentence right after that. The ability to set goals for one of the core... Oh, my God. Read this, Turner. The ability to set goals is one of the most core competence of being an effective leader.
Yes.
Okay? So, Travis, go ahead and explain in your life how goal setting took you to the next step. And then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how to make goals, how to set a goal.
Yes, I've talked about goals for a very long time, ever since I've got business oriented, and I'm always the worst at talking about them because I'm not a massive goal setter like a lot of people. The way I set my goals, I think everybody has goals, but it's how attainable are they and how do you set them? So a lot of people have talked about, you set small goals to get to the large goals. I've always kind of worked my way backwards.
Yep.
And I'll have a goal and then I figure out how to get there, but I am not very good at setting short-term goals because I think everybody has a different mindset and a different way that your brain works.
Yeah.
So it's good to figure out what works for people, and what worked for me was saying, okay, I want this, and then I kind of break down the steps of how do I get there. And then without even knowing it, I set small stepping stone goals without setting them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I've
meaning like you didn't write them down, or maybe because to
I've
make a goal, it has to be obtainable, and then it has to have it's time sensitive. Okay, so it has to have a time limit.
Yeah.
So those are the two biggest factors. So let me ask you this. It's like a talk, like I'm interviewing you, but it's like I think a lot of people that are watching the show that are real estate agents, and hey, people just like to be leaders, and because a lot of people view you as your leader. Okay, so just get over it. All right,
I appreciate it.
So, how did you set goals going into the real estate industry? I have mine. I'm going to try to relate to yours. So, you were like, I was in the hospitality world and need to move into real estate. What was your was it like a lifestyle change, obviously?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because before real estate, I didn't really set goals. I had thoughts and I had accomplishments I wanted to do, but I never had somebody that really taught me about goals and how to get them. I was always around a lot of people that wanted to do big things and be very successful, but there was never talk about...
It was talk, really,
It was talk.
Yeah.
There was never action or monetized action or daily action to get to that dream.
Yeah.
It was always just work hard, show up, and something will come. And I guess through my life, and one reason I got into real estate is those cool things never came. I worked really hard. I had fun. I had cool stuff, but I wasn't really hitting any type of goal that was going to make me better, lead me to a family, lead me to a career. If you looked at my life and my picture, I was doing okay and I was doing well, but I never really set goals of something I truly wanted or truly wanted to be.
Okay.
So it took me a long time to really learn how to set goals and actually put them on paper, or even honestly just in my head, but work towards getting to an actual goal. Yeah.
So I experienced the same thing. Obviously, I've been blessed to have the ability from my childhood of having the hearing impairment is to learn from other people's mistakes. Not just being a visual learner and a tactile learner, but I learned a lot of my goal setting skills, I guess you would say, is over the years of being a gym owner in the past. And I went to a ton of conferences to learn these skills. And so the best way to do it, we'll move on to the next bullet point here so we can keep flowing, is that when setting a goal, you need to set a goal that is attainable. Okay, I said that a second ago, and it has to be time sensitive, meaning it has to have a deadline. Okay, now those are the core things to making a set goal, but you need to do macro, you need to do, and then micro. Okay, so what do those mean? Meaning micro would be the smaller one, right? It would be your stepping stone that you would step on to get to that big achievable goal that you want. Okay, so whether it be I'm just going to go through one right now. I'm going to wake up 30 minutes earlier in a day, so I have 30 minutes more to get my exercise done in the morning. Okay, the next thing is going to be to have my breakfast before this time. That is a micro, that is my miniature, to get to the point where I'm sitting in front of the computer or editing this podcast video for you guys before 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Or I call it my GSD, get shit done list. I told you when we first started becoming business partners and acquaintances, is that before I didn't touch my phone till 8 a.m. I didn't touch it, didn't look at social media, nothing.
Man, that'd be nice.
So that was the things that just like not checking the emails, doing all the 5% that makes you the most money before anybody can contact you.
Yeah.
Right. And then setting weekly goals, monthly goals, and then yearly goals. Okay, those are all very, very important, because if you don't do these steps, you'll never have the fundamentals to get to that monthly goal. The same thing with the yearly goal. So I'll put it in the description of the YouTube video for you guys to go through. I have an amazing podcast I did on Jamodi podcast, and I might pop it on here. And I broke it down on a piece of paper, and it really, really helped with thousands of people that listened. So
nice.
I'm interested in doing that. So let's go into the next one. Do you have anything you want to add to it?
No, I love how you break it down, because that's what I do now. You have to figure out your stepping stones to get to that end result, but the first thing is actually setting a goal.
Writing it down, too, though. Like, you can't just think
I'm old school.
Right, because you do obviously notebook paper and dry erase boards.
I actually don't use as much paper now because I found a thing called Remarkable. It's a tablet, but it feels like you're writing on paper.
Yeah.
I'm switching to a little bit more technology in my life, but I'm a big notepad, write things down, not as techy. Yeah.
You're getting there.
I'm learning.
Okay, the next thing is going to be delegation. Okay, now remember, we're talking about leadership. Okay, delegation can be, and you don't have to be an entrepreneur to delegate. Okay, there are certain things in life that you should not be doing every single day to be a good leader. Okay, now in the beginning of your leadership life journey, sometimes you have to wear those hats before you can delegate to give that hat to somebody else to wear. So for an example, right now I'm editing all these videos, all these podcasts, and everything myself. It takes an incredible amount of time.
He's a workhorse.
And once we get to the point where we are producing enough, having enough views, getting a lot of feedback from you guys, I will be able to have the luxury of delegating someone else to edit these things so I can focus on helping you, the viewer, find your dream home.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Absolutely.
So it's the same thing. Now, I am going to probably step on some toes when I say this, but sometimes if you have a partner in your life and you can't cook all the meals or you can't do all the laundry, that's called delegation. Or Can you go run this errand and go pick up this or that? That's delegation, okay? Being a leader for the household of your house. I know there's a lot of delegation that you have to do as well, so you can provide for the family. The same situation.
We call it a partnership, so it's not as...
Yeah, delegation is kind of a harsh word, but we're talking about leadership. I'm trying to relate it so you guys can, for those that are not entrepreneurs or business owners, that is a way of delegation. Okay, there's lots of different ways of things you can delegate.
Yeah, delegation is super important. I'll touch on that for a second.
Do it, please.
I've been in real estate going on 11 years now. For 9 years, I did everything myself. And it got to where I've never disliked real estate, but I have found myself at times disliking the process of a lot of the things in real estate. And whenever I stepped back and took a look, it's just because I wasn't able to do the thing that I loved, and that's help people, because I was doing everything else when it comes to running a business as well. And I didn't always look at it as a business, but once I did, I realized I can't do this on my own. Or if I do, I'm going to run myself into the ground. My marriage is going to suffer from it because of timing. And so it really made me take a step back, which went into goal setting, that I said, I don't want to run every aspect of my business. And so I found people that could help me. It costs money a lot of times. You got to spend money to make money. I learned that very quickly.
Yeah.
But once I started partnering with people that were better at certain aspects of my business than me, or could really help me, that delegation really happened. And it freed up time. It makes me happy. And it's just,
it's the same thing.
Is important.
There's some people that help us through, I'm not going to shine lights on it, but there's people that help us through a transaction, that help us make sure we do things on time. It's the same thing. It costs money. It costs us money. It doesn't cost anyone else money. It costs us money to employ those people to help us. It's the same thing that I'll employ an editor to edit our videos, because we'll be doing so many property tours and podcasts, right? The next bullet point will be decision making. The person that fails the most is the person that overthinks. Overthinker, if you're an overthinker, you're a failure. I promise you, if you overthink, and I know that's extremely harsh to hear, and Turner, you don't know what you're talking about, but I promise you, the most successful people in the world make a decision. If it's wrong, they learn from it, because we fail more than you see that we succeed. Yeah. So that is what decision making is all about. We made a decision before we got on this show right now that you're watching of what topics we're going to do and more we're going to do later on. We made a decision, and we'll figure it out later on, okay? Because I know we're going to deliver a lot of great content to you guys, but we had to make a decision so you could actually hit it, right? So what kind of banter could you have about decision making, like in your lifestyle or in your life or work? I know there's sometimes we gotta make a decision right then, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think decision making comes with risk, but risk versus reward. The most successful people in the world, like you said, they don't sit and overthink things. They don't sit and analyze it to a T. They make a decision. They work hard to get it. Like you said, if it doesn't work out, you didn't fail. That one just didn't work. I heard that a long time ago. I've never failed. I've just made a lot of mistakes because I learned from every mistake. Therefore, it's not a failure. But decision making is super important, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a husband, whether you're a wife, whether you're a parent. No matter what, you have to be able to have the ability to make not just a quick decision, but to make a good decision. Yeah. Whether it was good in that moment or not, you learn from it. But you have to have the ability to make a decision that you're comfortable with, that lines up with your core values, and that you can work towards hitting. Because if you can't make a decision, especially when it comes, if we're talking about leadership, nobody's going to follow you. Yeah. You're not going to have any success for somebody to want to follow you, to make you a leader, because you can't make a decision. Yeah. So you have to learn whether you hesitate or you have issues with it. Because I did for a long time. A lot of people don't know, but I'm an introvert. I struggle with being in front of big crowds. I struggle with sometimes making a decision for other people. But once I learned, hey, I have the tools in my toolbox, obviously because I have been relatively successful in real estate, that once I understood that the decisions I've made in the past work, it helped me break out of my shell and be able to make quicker decisions. Yeah. Because they work.
Because to relate from this is you didn't like going in front of videos or the way and stuff like that, right? You had to make a decision. All right.
Well,
here we go.
It was kind of made for me. Yeah. But I still had to make that decision to show up.
Decision
and I'm glad. I'm glad to do it. But he's right. I had to make a decision to actually come on camera because it's something that I've struggled with for a long time, that I honestly don't like being on camera. The reason being, I have no idea. But once we're doing this, I'm getting more comfortable.
Yeah.
I enjoy helping other people. So deciding to do that, it helps me with my bigger picture of my goals and what I want to do, and that's helping other folks. So I hope you enjoy watching this because it's making me better. So thank you.
Yeah.
But you have to make a decision, and every minute of, I don't know the stats, we haven't looked it up, but look it up and maybe we'll find it. But there's so many decisions made every second in your brain.
Yeah.
Once you learn how to control those decisions and understand you're making it, it'll change your life.
100%. The next thing is going to be communication. Okay. This is something that I feel like that I'm learning every single day, but I still think that I'm very good at communication. Mm-hmm. I think for me personally, being that I wasn't able to communicate when I was younger, to the point where I learned through relationships that were around me in my life. I saw what they did wrong, what was horrible for them, and I just made sure that communication was 100%. I always said, "Hey, look, I'm sorry you feel that way. Let me put your shoes on and see where you are seeing this. So I will make sure that I can, one, correct that, two, be a better communicator, and obviously within my marriage, be a better husband." And so that has to go with my clients. That has to go with my friends, anyone in my life. I always try to communicate clearly so we both hear both sides of the story, whether that person disagrees with me or I disagree with that person, so I can hear both sides of the story and be like, "Hey, look, you know what? I messed up." And you know what? With communication, just admit when you're wrong.
Everything
like
can be
I
fixed.
always, I'm stupid. Sorry, I won't do that again.
But I like what you said. You don't just communicate; you have to communicate clearly. Mm-hmm. I am huge on communication, and a lot of my friends and people, it might get kind of annoying to them because I like to talk on the phone. It's one thing I love about Turner is he also likes to talk on the phone. So getting good at communication is one of the biggest things that I think will make your life more successful and much easier, because a lot of people want to just hold back on conversations or hold back on emails. Well, it frees you, whether it's good or bad, just to communicate. I tell my clients whenever I first start working with somebody, I get one easy deal a year and it's already gone January 1st. But the thing with that is anything can be worked through with communication. Good, bad, or ugly. If people will communicate and work together, everything can be fixed, whether it's business, whether it's relationships, whether it's friendships. If you communicate, you will be successful in whatever area you're in.
The next bullet point would be time management.
Ooh.
Okay, time management is extremely important because you can be visited with your time robbers of life. It happens every single day. There is lots of disruption platforms that are installed on your phone. They're called Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn, emails, all kinds of stuff, and people too.
Yeah.
Okay. This is something I had to learn the hard way, and mostly people. Being in the world of the fitness industry, it was just nonstop people robbing, or making sure that you are spending it at the right time with the right person or the right groups of people. And what I like to do every single day is time management is, and we actually haven't talked about leadership on this show because I'm always like, oh, talk about this, but it's for our team, is doing what I like to call out of mind, out of sight every day. The night before the day starts, so tonight I'm going to do my out of mind, out of sight list for tomorrow, which means what I'm going to do is write down a list of things I need to do, the hardest thing in the morning to the easiest thing in the morning. Meaning, if it's a conversation I don't want to really have with somebody that's difficult, or it's a contract I got to negotiate that I really know that they're going to give me feedback, some backlash on, hardest to easiest. And the reason why I say out of mind, out of sight is so I can sleep. Because we all know we all have those lists of things to do the next day, but we don't write them down. So therefore your sleep suffers because you feel like you're going to forget it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So there's that. And then also make your calendar look like a gay parade. Just straight up color coordinated every single hour, 15 minutes. just colorized of like personal work. I have my personal workouts green, my real estate's orange, my personal is like time is purple. I mean, it looks like a gay parade on my calendar every single day. Just lots of colors, right? And being very ruthless is with your time is what I've been taught, quote unquote, ruthless with your time. You know, I told you about my old business coach, Bejos Kulian.
Yeah.
I learned that from him. Shout out to Bejos.
My favorite, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
But Turner has one saying that I think is amazing whenever he's in a conversation or doing something that's not worth his time. What is it that you say?
I've expired.
So if he ever says that to you, that means your conversation becomes senseless.
I'll just walk off. I usually tap you on the shoulder to make sure you know I'm not being too mean to you. I'll just tap you and be like, I'm expired, and I'll walk the other direction.
But he respects his time.
Yeah.
And that was something I struggled with for a long time. My wife actually helped me with it because like we had another podcast. You can go back and watch it. Turner talked about being busy versus successful.
Yeah. Productive. Yeah.
Busy versus productive.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's so true because if you don't manage your time gets away from us so fast.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can sit and scroll Instagram and 30 minutes goes by because you watched a whole bunch of senseless
rabbit hole
videos.
You went down. Yeah.
And so I'm not perfect yet. I'm not perfect in anything, but I've gotten a lot better at my time management because you get a lot more done. And
I think you're perfect.
For me, it starts with my calendar. And like you said, once I really started inputting activities in my calendar, color coding them, I share a calendar with my wife, so that's communication as well. We know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's truly helped me with my time management instead of, because I work a lot. I work a lot of hours. But used to, I'd look back and say, man, what did I really get done today? Mm-hmm. So time management is huge, especially if you are a leader, because you're not just leading yourself at that point. You're leading other people that are following you. So learning how to manage your time to use your fullest potential in business and in life, you won't get there until you learn time management.
That's why all these bullet points are good. We got 2 more. Hang on, guys. 2 more. The next one is problem solving.
Yes.
Okay? Problem solving is extremely important. I'm going to let you go away with this one, and then I'll tap on top of that one. So problem solving. What do you think in your life? That's what we do. We're literally paid to be problem solvers.
Yeah, absolutely.
As real estate agents,
I love problem solving, whether it's in business or just in life. And sometimes I have a problem with that because I want to help everybody. And my wife's helped me learn sometimes I just need to listen and not solve the problem. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a type of person that likes to solve problems. I have a background, a military background. Then I wanted to go into industries that serve people. And now I do the same thing in real estate as business, but I like to serve people. Yeah. And anytime you serve people, you're problem solving. And there's so much problem solving in real estate, it's not even funny.
Oh, yeah. It's literally every single day.
Yeah. But being able to solve a problem it's a technique. It's a certain attribute that people have, and you can learn it as well.
But you also need to understand, to be a problem solver, you have to understand the other bullet points we talked about in the start of this video, okay, this podcast.
Yeah.
It is extremely important to understand those steps to be a good problem solver, because without communication, decision making, all those things, you really can't listen, be a good listener.
If you don't have those, that creates problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. The last one is the most important one. To be a leader is relationship building. It is the most important thing to be a leader, because if you're not, what's a leader without your followers or your team or whatever your family? What are you leading? Nothing. Okay. So relationship building, actually taking time to build a relationship, whether it's looking someone straight in the eyes and listening to what they have to say, or giving somebody a compliment so it makes them feel all cozy inside. Yeah. Right? There you love
shaking hands.
Yeah, shaking
cozy.
Cozy. Shake hands. Okay. Communicate well. Be a problem solver. Build relationships. Listen to what people have to say. It's just, there's lots. I mean, we could go on forever relationship building, but how about you stab at it real quick?
I love relationship building because I just love people, and I think I've said that a bunch. That's why we're in a service-based industry. But I kind of feel like our generation has kind of gotten away from relationship building because they don't understand, and I'll say we instead of they, a lot of us don't understand what relationships are. You can build, there's so many different types of relationships. It doesn't have to be a best friend, a girlfriend, a husband, a wife. You can build a relationship with somebody just by telling them, hey, I hope you have a great day.
Yep.
You might see them again, and now you automatically have a connection. And it's that easy to build
Random
relationships.
acts of kindness.
It is, and it changes people's lives. That's why I get made fun of a lot. I'm kind of corny, but I like to high five people.
Yeah.
I like to wave at people in the car.
Yeah.
But whenever I high five somebody that it works in the general area that I work in, that I don't work with, the next time they see me, they might say, hey, what's your name? Or they might try to high five me. And I just built a relationship by simply putting out an act of kindness. Yeah. And it's that easy to build a relationship, but it's so important because you never know when you're going to need something from somebody, not in a selfish way, or you never know whenever they're going to need something from you. But if you don't get to know people, how can we help each other in life?
Exactly.
How can you build those friendships, build those relationships if you don't take a stab at it?
Exactly, and that's what we're doing right now, is building a relationship with you, the listener and the viewer, guys. We hope that you enjoyed this show. This is the longest podcast we've had on real estate leadership, and I'm really excited about editing this video and putting that photo of you acting like my dad. If you guys could please give us some feedback, subscribe, like, and share. We'll see you next time. When you think about real estate, think about leadership, real estate leadership. That's what I was trying to say. So how about you say that? Let's start over. You say that. When you think about
real estate or leadership. When you think about leadership, think about real estate leadership.
Nailed it.